Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Cancer for July 24th through to the end of August 2020. For those that are returning to my channel, thank you so much for your support. I know that my readings are a little bit longer. I do try to use as many different decks as I can because I find that they offer a broader perspective. And again, thank you for subscribing and supporting the channel. And for those that are new to my channel, again, thank you for stopping by, and hopefully you'll still be able to gain some insight. I know that they are longer readings, but oftentimes what I do with YouTube as I'm listening to different channels is I do, dishes, or I listen to things on the earphones while I do other activities. So so whatever works for you, even if you have to go back to the readings, certainly, again, I hope this is of value to you. Okay, so I'll just get right into the reading. In quick synopsis, what I was able to glean from the overview from July 24th period through to the end of August is that a lot of positive things coming through here. I mean, there's some blessings. There's maybe even some small gifts being, either given from you to someone else, or you're in receipt of that. But I did feel that there was some emotional healing for sure. So definitely there's a lot of relationship cards coming through in this reading. Doesn't matter where it, from the financial reading through to the general energy cards, there's some kind of overriding relationship. And again, I do primarily, I guess I forgot to mention this for those that are new to the channel, on the periphery is where I do the general energy readings, and everything that's basically central here is relating to the financial aspects and career. Okay, so anyway, back to the synopsis. I did feel there was some emotional relationship healing going on here. I do feel that a lot of blessings, a lot of positive cards coming through with the Sun card, and certainly I still feel that you're working on some projects here that will bring about kind of a legacy, momentous project over time, some new learning, and there's definitely some kind of, I feel a sense of a legal issue that's coming through here, but again, a lot of things favoring you over this period. So again, July 24th through to the end of August. There's some victory cards. Again, they're a little bit out of sight here, but you do have the Chariot card. You've got the Magician, Power of Manifestation, all of that for creative projects, but there is definitely some stability in terms of finances. I don't feel that you feel stable necessarily. Again, that's just your own mindset, but I do feel that there's no real issues surrounding money. I feel that, and in fact, I do feel that there is some gain. And even though there may be some kind of issue that may be threatening the financial situation, I feel that it moves in your favor so that it's not threatening you in any way during this period. Because as I say, there's a lot of blessings coming through, a lot of cards of opportunity, and definitely a lot of relationship cards, as I mentioned earlier. But you've got, the Rainbow card down here, which is also a card of blessings, and again, there's some other things revolving around relationships, breakthrough and into the unknown kind of thing. With the Fool and the Leap of Faith, again, the Fool, there's some repeating cards here. But overall, I do feel your money situation is fairly safe here for this period. Nothing that is going to bring about any real stressors for you. You do have some emotional healing cards again with, some storm clouds that may be clearing. I do feel I'm speaking to a couple of different groups here in terms of Cancer. One group, may really still be in the stage of fire, meaning a lot of intense anger over this healing situation here, emotionally, and again, I feel surrounding a relationship. And then others of you, I feel, are, pulling through all of that, and really in a place now where you're starting to actually think about your goals again, and you've regained some strength. You're still in a period of self-reflection and pulling back, but I do feel that you're just accepting some of the things you can't control here, and you're actually able to move forward. Whereas the other group, as I say, I feel is still dealing with a lot of the emotional hurt, still maybe battling some self issues, that kind of thing. But again, overall, I feel there's a bit of a lag time between the two groups here. But overall, as I said, there's a lot of hurdles being overcome in this period. And again, it'll depend on the individual as to how quickly you're able to wrestle with some of those issues. Okay, so I'll just quickly get into it now. The cards at the back here, as I pull the cards forward, I think that's the best way for me to go through what decks I'm using. So this is the Cracker cards, and the Fire card is actually Fortune Reading cards by Sharina Starr, and the illustrations are by Richard Crooks. So I'll pull that forward, and I'll just get right into the reading here. Okay, so with the Cracker card, I did feel that this is really a time for you. As I say, blessings are coming through. There's some things moving in your favor now. So it is positive energy that surrounds you. Love, joy, and good fortune awaits. So you're still working on some of these things, as I said, but there's a healing that's continuing here. I do see growth for this period, and I feel like it's a real deepening for some of you. And when I say deepening, because there's also the Strength card into some of the other decks here, but this deepening is allowing you to find your self-esteem and use that to your advantage, which is attracting other people, because I do feel that there's business, you're getting help, you're getting assistance through some kind of a connection, through some kind of alliance. You're attracting new energy to yourself because you're coming out of something. You're in a more of a healing phase, and it's starting to show that you're getting more of a positive aura around you here. So that positive energy is helping you to draw things professionally to yourself. You might even be, presenting yourself differently by, cutting your hair, changing your clothes, something that is just helping to move you forward and impress other people and is giving way to more opportunity. So this is a time, where I don't feel you're taking a lot of action. I think it's still a little more in the preparatory stage, because I feel like you're pulling back and doing some life review. But again, you're in a deeper, stronger healing place now, and I feel that you are able to gain some leverage. This is a card that can also speak to travel. I don't know that I feel there's a lot of other supporting cards around that just at this point, but for the moment, I'm just going to let you know that I feel that you are attracting a lot of people to you that are going to assist you, new friendships, you being in the right place at the right time, that kind of thing. I do feel not a good time for you to overindulge, but you do have sort of that uplifting quality about you right now, and it is attracting other people to you. And it may even be that you're more enthusiastic, something along that line, but either way, it is impressing other people. So whether that's, bosses or friends, somewhere along the line here, you're gaining some traction, you're being admired, that kind of thing. And again, the card does speak to winning some money, and I'm not saying I see big windfall cards here, but I am seeing that there is some gains for sure in your favor. I feel like it's more along the front of less in regards to big chunks of money coming through, and more in regards to small gifts or small things, small wins, things moving in your favor, little blessings all coming through. I feel on multiple fronts, not just on one, but for this period. And again, that could also incorporate some money-making ideas, you starting to, as I say, through these collaborations, gain some insight on as to where you might be headed with your projects, or an opportunity that's opening up for you. So this is, again, an excellent time for anything that can move in your favor. That could also speak to purchasing property, selling, or investing, anything like that. But it's about you being assertive and asking for what you want here, is what that card's all about. So, and again, you have some positive energy about you that is going to move things in your favor. Again, I felt that I was speaking to a couple of different groups here. Fire represents a lot of intense feelings here. So letting go of that emotional upheaval and embrace the renewal of the present. So again, it is that renewal. It's a purification. It's getting rid of things that are old. It's a time to rejuvenate and move into a place where, you are able to accept yourself and others, for the path that they're on. Not everybody's going to be meeting at the same juncture in the road where everything lines up perfectly. So sometimes you just have to accept that other people aren't at that same stage of growth, or they're just not ready to accept something that you are presenting, and it's not a reflection on whether or not it's good or bad or anything like that. It's everything's a matter of timing, and a lot of life's lessons have to be managed in such a way that there is no timing. So when there is no timing, that's a period for somebody to grow. So it's whoever, picks up the wand, so to speak, or the baton, and keeps going with it and learns a lesson from it, is the one who moves further ahead on the track. So again, you just want to make sure the rage and anger and intense emotion or sadness, anything like that, is not consuming you, because again, I felt I was speaking to a couple of different groups here, because it will cause you some self-destruction. It'll cause you some inner breakdown, and for sure, worry unnecessarily. It's not to say that the feelings shouldn't be recognized, but it's also to say, look for the answer or the growth or what you can learn from it. So if it is a painful situation and someone doesn't understand you, don't tear yourself apart and look at yourself as though it's something that's wrong with you, because timing is a big factor here, and both parties have to be willing to work on something at the same time before there can be a resolve to manifest that. But if you can't come together on that group front, then you need to do the inner work and say, well, based on what I've got, this is what I can do with it. Okay, so this is again about you moving toward a major life transformation. So you are setting some new goals here. You've got more motivation and more drive, more passion behind things. I feel in terms of communication, I feel that you can release, as I said, these old feelings and start to move forward to a place where you can communicate what it is that you're looking for and that you want to make happen. Because again, it's a renewal card. You're letting the past go. So it's about preparation. It's about preparing for a time of enormous personal growth, and those endings needed to end and able to rejuvenate you and help you, get back the respect that you deserved. And sometimes, and when I say it that way, I feel that there may actually be some kind of, maybe there was some kind of bad, well, not just bad energy, but some negative comments that were swirling around because of this situation that damaged not just your ego, but damaged your reputation. So sometimes it's okay to let that go, let the other person heal, think about their own behavior and the things that they've said, and let them come to terms with how they will absorb the issue or that connection. It's not for you, as I mentioned in other readings, to do the work for other people. You can only look after the things that you can control. So again, just it's releasing them and any negativity that was being projected onto you that affected your self-worth, because I do feel your self-worth was affected here on some level. Okay, so the next cards are actually the Book of Rune cards, and this is by Ralph Blum, or Bloom, however it's pronounced. So that would be the breakthrough card here. So as I said, I felt that you were, again, you're still doing some healing, and things take time, and I find some months you're going to be going back and forth. So this is one of those months where you're still going through some kind of a major shift here. So it is a breakthrough, self-change, you're doing some kind of transformation with your attitude, but it's a transition nonetheless. So it is a breakthrough card is also about doing things living life in an ordinary way, but you're being called not to. But I'm going to say that there were some other cards that related to you being more practical and logical for this period. So I think even though the card has, again, some varied meanings here, there were other cards that really spoke to you being a little more because normally this card speaks to being a little more radical and taking that leap of faith and being maybe a little bit more of a warrior. But I don't feel that's entirely what is coming through for you. I feel that you are in a place where you're still doing a lot of the mind work. And so there's not a lot of action taking place right now. I think that there is a period of achievement where you are making this breakthrough, where you are able to see where you're headed. There's light through that tunnel now. I do feel that the darkness, the shadow parts of this journey, are really behind you, and that you are actually able to move ahead with your own hard work to make and continue with this transformation. Okay, so the next card after that only makes sense. It's the unknowable. So the unknowable is really considered to be the blank rune. It is, just about you just totally trusting in your destiny and knowing that, you had to let go of relinquish control over things that were a challenge for you, because some things aren't meant to be actualized. So whether there was a relationship that didn't come to fruition in the way that you wanted it to, I feel that you gained the right aspects out of it. For those that have put in the work, the mental work here, I feel you've gained what you needed to see out of it, and you can now use this as a power. You can, harness that into a creativity, or have it surface in a way that is productive for you. So whether you're using it in terms of motivation, but I think this card also represents you asking yourself a lot of the deeper questions. Will I fail at whatever this project is? Can I trust again? A lot of those deeper questions about abandonment. But again, it's a card of willingness. You just need to be willing and allow the universe or spirit or your ancestors, whatever that means to you, the divine, to come through and, I don't want to say just hold your hand, but help you through by giving you little pointers and guidance along the way. So this does represent a path of karma. So again, it's, that sum total of your actions and how that plays out in the world as a consequence. But again, it's a debt, an old karmic debt that's shifting now. So I do feel that you've learned something and that's why you're getting the blessings coming through. So you've done some kind of work on yourself. And so because of that self-change, you're able to progress forward. You're able to level up and move into the next challenge. And again, for every karmic challenge that you take on and you learn a lesson from, you are given that opportunity you get the blessings, and you're given a new opportunity to further yourself. Okay, let's see. So the next cards are, I think we'll go through to the gateway cards. So this is about accepting what is, opening to love, and proceeding softly. So the first card about accepting what is, again, this is the Gateway Oracle cards, and it says, I accept and embrace my inner majesty. So it's by Denise Lim. So this card is really one that's letting you know that, there's, I don't want to say that our imperfections are imperfect. I want to say and I mean this in terms of yourself as well, your imperfections are your perfections, because it is sometimes the things that are what others might deem as a weakness, being extra sensitive and overreactive, for example. Others might see that as a weakness, but in the right setting, it's a strength. It's a superpower. It's something that makes you more better in the world in a particular industry. So it's not really an imperfection. These are things that assist you to gain insight and to find a way to make it, it's a gift really, but it's to find a way to make use of that in the world. So again, it's about embracing all these parts of yourself that, because I think that you're holding yourself back, Cancer. I think that you're trying to hide a lot of things, hide these insecurities, hide these fears because it makes you look weak. But in actual fact, that extra sensitivity can help with communication. It can help you to move ahead. You don't have to do a floodgate of emotions, but incrementally allowing yourself to move forward with and being open with some of these challenging times can actually draw others closer to you rather than presenting a cold front. Which that cold front you might think is strength, but again, I feel that our real gifts are those that are closest to our truest nature. So again, whatever's challenging you here emotionally, again, find a way to accept it and embrace it because your experience is helping you to evolve. And in terms of helping you to evolve, I do feel that you are coming through as the counselor down the road. I feel that you're a really sensitive person here, Cancer, and you're even with your ancestors' messages coming through. This is really who you were always meant to be, is that counselor. You're somebody who, through those pains of life, actually help to heal other people through your experiences. So again, start to acknowledge that whatever things you consider imperfection is actually your perfection. It is the thing that other people will judge you for because they don't understand it. They're hiding their own parts of self as well. Until they're able to get further ahead on their journey, there will always be judgment. So again, this is a card of embracing what is. It is what it is. How you feel, how you get through is the way, which again is opening you up to love. Love of self doesn't necessarily have to be a new relationship coming through here, but opening to love, your heart is open. So I feel that you're for some, love might be on the way, a new relationship, or again, a sweeter relationship where there is more understanding from an old one, where it's been, revamped in some way, where you're actually able to allow yourself to feel deeper, where you're actually embracing some of the emotions that you have. Or again, a relationship coming through that is helping you to incorporate some of those deeper feelings. So either way, and again, it's a couple of Cancerians that I'm speaking to here, but it's a card of letting you know that your wounds are healing, you're opening up more to love of self as well. Again, it's not about whether or not people deserve love or you deserve love. It's always there for everyone, but you have to be willing to risk a little bit of pain to gain. And that takes courage, and not everybody is ready for that journey. So again, it's that true pathway to love, and how do you open yourself up and look at the things that are blocking you. So again, for some of you, it may be just the doorway that you're standing at right now, and for others, it's you're moving through it. Okay, so proceeding softly, my inner power grows in moments of quietude, however that's pronounced. But anyway, either way, the card is about you moving forward slowly. Slowly, gently, you're just appreciating being in the here and now. Again, there's quite a few cards that spoke to that as well. You just appreciating being in the here and now, slowing it down, no need to rush ahead. Again, I feel this period is more introspective and you doing some planning here. Okay, so also, that's where your power is being shaped and strengthened. But it's also when you want to ask yourself the questions about, are you being too overcautious in certain areas of your life as well? So it can go from one end of that spectrum to the other. So you want to look at areas of your life where you should slow down and other areas where you might be too overly cautious. And so that, again, could relate to your own personal growth or the relationship the relationship to self or relationship to another. So let's see, the next cards after that, I'll go through these are this is the Wisdom of the Oracle cards by Colette Baron Reed. And again, you're starting a new life. You're in a new period of self healing, you're redesigning your life again, you're moving forward. I felt that you were taking some steps, which you also have another card of chop wood here, which is also about, putting in the work. But this is around birth of new ideas and things coming through, growth and opportunity. So it's again about renewal. I did feel that, again, you've got some new excitement around you. And I think that is related to, again, it could be a partnership or somebody that is coming through to assist you here. Doesn't have to be a partnership in terms of a romantic relationship, but again, there's some kind of assistance that's coming through to help you with this miracle here, with these ideas to inspire you. And either way, it's new opportunities coming through, and you're feeling better. Your energy is starting to come back here. You've got enthusiasm, and it's just a good time of a fortunate time for you. Again, blessings coming through. So whatever blessings are to you, physically, emotionally. In terms of relationship, again, it's new energy to those old relationships, or even to new relationships. But there's some kind of deepening, a sweetness of vibrancy. There's something that's coming through that's allowing you to connect, have excitement and passion, and again, greater respect for yourself. But this is a card of being optimistic. Abundance is here for you. So again, there's a kind of electricity and exciting potentials, fortune, protection, all of that comes through with this. So you do have Spirit's protection in helping you to manifest this newness. But it is the beginning of things. You haven't quite hit the throes of gain on it just yet. It's still a learning process of some sort here. Okay, so again, followed was the chop wood card. And again, that's the same deck there also. But with the chop wood card, this is again about you being grounded. So it's you staying grounded, using your rational, logical mind, and being humble and going through, your life's reflections on your experience. It's also a time when, you might have had some dreams that were sitting on the back burner here, but I feel that you're now bringing them forward, and now you're considering all the things that you need to do to make that start moving forward again. Like what are the things that are important to you is really what I'm getting at here. So you are doing all those simple chores in your life, cleaning up your house, doing all the things that, that you need to do to get done. This is where you're at, because whatever healing you were doing, I feel you were also, your energy and your time were taken away from a goal-oriented activity, and that sense of deeper purpose is important in that activity. So I feel now you're much more receptive to that, to doing the activities that help you to get through the everyday, to get moving on that particular dream or goal or thing that was important to you. So meditation comes through with some of the other cards here as well. So whether you meditate or not, meditation can come through in, some people just drive and meditate and think about, life in a relaxed way. Other people, it comes through in terms of dreams, late night. But either way, your aha moment is coming here. And this is when you're actually able to go deeper and start seeing some insightful ways to resolve some of the problems that you were facing. Because again, there's solutions coming through in this period. In terms of relationship, I don't know that you're focusing so much on that at this time. I feel it's more along the lines of goal-oriented activities and just doing some of the maintenance stuff that you need to get done. As I said, washing dishes and, cleaning up and washing the car or whatever. Practicality is what's coming through here and is what's needed as well with chop wood. So again, whatever the work is that you need to do right now is all you need to do. You just need to just be, is what the card really suggests, because everything is fine. You're just taking small steps toward those larger leaps on that journey, which is going to be a journey that is prosperous for you. But again, you have to put in the work. You have to keep the focus. You have to do the mundane, and not let things pile up, because when they pile up, it then becomes a blockage and you're not able to move those mountains, so to speak, right? So again, in terms of protection, you also don't want to go to the far extreme where you're just staying in your head entirely in daydream mode. Again, the card is really speaking to you being more practical and taking those incremental steps. So just to be mindful that you want to do one step towards your goal each day that will help you to gain. So still working on your mental processes here, but again, there's some practical things around you that need to also be done or tended to. Okay, so the next card is Yamana, however that's pronounced. That's a golden opportunity. So important doors are opening for you right now, and just to walk through them. So again, just as it is, it's a time when the things that you've done to prepare yourself here, help to bring you toward what it is that you need to be doing. So again, I feel that you have enough of you've done enough preparation in terms of your goals or the things that you wanted to make manifest or to occur here, that you're not having to go from cold turkey to figuring out what it is you want and all of those things. I feel you already know those. That's the stage that you're at here. But this is a card that's letting you know you are in for some kind of big happy change that's going to move you ahead here. So again, I felt that was in terms of somebody else coming through to assist you, and you are qualified for whatever this activity is or these goals. Like you have the talents to make it happen, but it is a protection card from spirit as well. That is one that grants wishes. So Yamana is a goddess that helps to grant wishes, and definitely a protector. So the next card, I think the next card that I will read will be the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms cards. So that's these ones here, and that is by Colette Baron Reid. So you've got the Eyes of Beauty and the Lady of the Gift. So let's start with that one here. So the Lady of the Gift, again, this is a card of generosity, receiving, and withholding. So the message is really one of charity. So again, doesn't have to be money that you're giving out to any specific organization, although it could be, but it's really about you giving time and energy into something or to others on that level, because it's just about also acknowledging that the gifts that you have and just your time and attention to other people matters in the way that you attract other people and positive situations to you. So it's about just being receptive to the people that you might have not have given a lot of time and attention to, or you might have treated poorly. Just you want to try to bring in positive energy here that gives you abundance and blessings. And so again, it's continuing to not just look at things in terms of what you can receive, but also what you're willing to give here. So, and again, that can be time and energy, just being kind to people in general. Doesn't have to be, large amounts of money. Maybe it's food or something you're helping out people with or whatever, or just, again, in general, just being kind to people that you didn't maybe give enough of your time and attention to. The Eyes of Beauty is about you examining your perceptions of things. So positive expectations and clarity. So you want to retrace and do that life overview. You're looking at the past here. You're looking at some of the things of what is that reality that you were creating around yourself before, and is that really a true perception? It's that time to look at as they say, the glass, is it half full or half empty? You know, it depends on how, you know, what your perspective is in terms of how you view, what the lens is that you're viewing life through. So again, this is about you moving forward, you know, based on a true conviction or a new re-emerging with a changed perspective, and you're able to see beauty in things, and that helps to attract the good things to you. Because if you're looking through that lens of fear, you attract more fear to you. And in fact, you can also find yourself expressing that fear by being harsh in your judgments, which means you will also be judged in that same harsh way. So you have to remember that the things that you see as flaws, or that other people see as flaws in you, so long as you understand that you're using it for a purpose which you may not be aware of yet, it doesn't really matter what another person's judgments are, because that comes with the territory of leveling up. So you have to release your expectations and how you feel people should view you. And by you staying true to your power and in your strength, which is what the strength card is that you've got in another part of the deck here with other reading, or the other part of the reading. But again, it's about you adjusting the way that you see things. So you need to see it exactly as it is. Nobody's perfect. Anybody who's judging you harshly or making or trying to restrict you with the things that they deem as imperfect or unimportant, just remember they have the same fears. They manifest differently, but they have the same fears. People that have a lot of fear also identify a lot of fear in other people. You know, if you're a really angry person, you're going to sense a lot of anger in other people as well. So again, be mindful of that. So it doesn't really matter what the judgment of another person is, because you can see through them by remembering that what you're seeing in them is also really mirrored in yourself. So if you don't have any expectations of them, you're not reliant on them for going forward, you know, whatever their truth is or whatever their expectations are or whatever they feel are the thing, like are the, if they view your life in such a way that they place demands on you, you need to remember that how you're dealing with your life right now needs to be incrementally felt through you. So you need to know your own steps forward before somebody else can put you on that path or put you on the third step when you're still working on the first step, because otherwise you'll trip over the second step. So you need to know your own steps to get there. It's important to see some of the steps ahead, but again, ultimately you need to learn and grow in your own way. It doesn't help that somebody else says, well, you're doing this wrong, because in the grand scheme of things, the steps have to be incremental. Jumping from the first level to the third level means you're going to trip. So if you do trip on the second level and you've done the work, it's not a huge fall backward. It's a slide, and then you get right back in there again, because you already known you've done this before. And that's true for a lot of people that are quite wealthy as well. You know, for every slide back, they're not really afraid of the slide back or the loss, because they know they've already done the footwork. They already know the process to get there to a certain extent. They know the connections. They know the things they need to do. So it's not a task that is one they fear anymore. They know how to shift their perception to move ahead. They don't have any real expectations or demands on being perfect. It's one thing to have a goal in mind and to have a level of aspiration, but again, it's important to know that these are not limitations. This is how you build the skill. If you know you have some kind of restriction on a skill, you also know to continue building on that, as well as the surrounding territory, helps you to gain stronger footing. So when somebody else gives you advice, just be careful that the advice that you're taking means you're already at that step, or just a step ahead, because if it's 2 steps ahead, you don't have the foundation work to be able to make that jump realistically. Okay, so moving on to the next cards. This is actually the Voyager deck here as well. This one is the Voyager Tarot right here. The Voyager Tarot is James Wanless, who's got a PhD, who's created this. So actually, I'll start with the first card. So the first card is actually, so you've got the Chariot, the Emperor, and the Ace of Crystals. So with the Ace of Crystals, again, anything that's aces relates to newness and change. So this would be traditionally considered, the crystal is considered the sword card. So it does cut through difficulties. It creates awareness. It's about being able to see things for the way that it is. It's a really sharp-minded individual. The crystal is putting things into a clear, clearing the path, as well as putting things into a clear mindset or perspective so that you can move forward anyway. So it's that flash of insight. Again, that's the aha card coming through as you had in the previous there. So again, it's that flash of insight. It's about cutting through any, restrictions or dark, shadowy blockages, things that, might have been shrouded in the subconscious. Things are being brought to the surface. You've got light to shed on it so that you can now change your perspective. You're re-inspired. You're stimulated here. This is a card of letting you know you are able to believe in yourself and your own genius and produce something from that. So again, it's about you starting to believe in yourself. It's about you doing some healing, shedding some of the darker areas of restriction that you were dealing with maybe in the previous months. So again, we've got the Emperor, and the Emperor is, of course, it can speak to a person. It can also speak to how you deal with a particular situation, but in terms of a person, it symbolizes the material world. So it can be somebody who is a builder, somebody who is a pioneer, somebody who is, really confident and ambitious and has aspirations to move ahead, new plans and visions, somebody who is very empowered, mover, shaker, that kind of thing, a real doer. So this is somebody who has quite a strong drive, and this could be you or somebody around you that's coming in to assist you, but it could even speak to, again, we're talking about, grades of grades on that spectrum. So from one side of that spectrum, it could be just a really strong, influential figure. On the far extreme, it could be somebody who's so ambitious and motivated that they are wanting to be, looking at great fortune and want extreme dominance, power, and influence, that kind of thing. So this could be somebody who wants to basically make their mark on the world. So again, whether it's you or someone else, but somebody who may want to build an empire, or somebody who just has this real strong, empowering, clear mind on where things will be going and the direction they want to move things in the future. But there's a real strong emotional strength that comes through with this card. This is an Aries energy, so it could be an Aries person, doesn't have to be with these qualities it's coming through, but again, it does speak to clearly defined goals, or you making those clearly defined goals and, creating some decisive, organized, taking a leadership role, and able to gain that recognition professionally or otherwise. So again, to the far extreme of this, it could represent somebody who's really controlling and dominating, not very flexible, and has kind of that dictatorship mentality. So again, just to be wary of that. Sometimes these qualities can be advantageous in certain situations, but if they're used too predominantly across the board, it can work against you. Okay, so with the Chariot card, this represents, the law of motion. So again, it can be a vehicle. It can be literally speak to a vehicle as well, but it also is a chariot as a victory card. and it does speak to using the mind, body, the heart, and the spirit. Things are constantly moving to move you ahead so that you successfully attain the things that you're going after here. So it's about you being a bit of an adventurer, traveler, and you're conquering something. As I said, it can also represent a Cancerian energy, so that would be you coming through in your own reading. And that's about getting rid of some of the getting rid of the negativity by going inward and being meditative. And it is a card about finding your power in that stillness. So the movement becomes effortless when you are able to stay centered. So that is the message of this card as well. So again, to the far extreme, the shadowy side, this is a card of getting too carried away and just going too aggressively and obsessively and too hard, too fast, So again, the energy of the reading I felt was that you weren't taking big leaps and bounds, that you're doing things incrementally, and you need to be doing it incrementally because you're also in a stage of healing. So, sorry, one sec here. My mouth gets a little dry, my throat gets a little dry when I do these readings because they're so lengthy. Okay, so the next cards, let me just see here. I think the next cards that I will read will be the Energy Oracle cards. So, let me just see where I put those ones. That would be these ones here. So I'll just quickly show you. You've got 4 that I pulled. You've got door to personal healing and happiness. You've got strategy. You've got woman holding a heart. And you've also got deceit. Don't be too alarmed by the deceit card, because I think in this instance, it's not necessarily deceit as in someone coming through and being deceitful with you. I feel that it could be just negative energy that you're kind of pulling on. But, okay, but basically, so the door to personal healing and happiness is really about that new beginning in your personal life. So again, it's a positive change that's coming through with this card. You're working on that inner healing, breaking any addictions. Just you're getting back on your life path here again, and overall you're starting to make those external changes. So the internal changes are starting to manifest into the external world here. Again, it's about things opening up. You're able to, if you're looking for a new place to live, this is all of that. Those opportunities are coming through. And again, just in general, new opportunities are coming through with this card. But it's about you being able to see the results. You see the results of your intention, and it's okay to be optimistic here. So the next card following that was strategy. And again, I felt that you were implementing some strategy to move forward. You're starting to make some plans here. And writing things down again was the best way to commit to that. That's why it shows a journal with the pen and paper, so to speak. So, and the compass as well as the key. So this is about things opening up for you, and you're about to achieve goals. But again, I don't feel you're right on the precipice. You're still at the beginning stage of starting to formulate things, but you're writing about that direction, about where you're headed now. You have the potential to change this course, and this is how you would do it, is by implementing a strategy for your goals. So you need to structure it out, and I do feel, Cancerians, that you need that structure. So, start with the short-term goals, write the top 3 just as an example, and, measure the level of goal attainment at the end of each week, and take, maybe 1 or 2 steps toward that goal each day, and see how far ahead you are. By the end of the week, you can see what has started to manifest here. But it is a time of putting thought to action and keeping your sights on the road ahead here with strategy. Okay, so the next card is the woman holding the heart. So this is a card of, this is really a card just letting you know that it's dealing with emotions, and feelings and family and love and all of that. So it is obviously, it's a time where you had some issues, but those are resolving. And again, there's other cards here that also speak to that resolve. So, and you finding solutions. So you're bringing things into awareness so that you can deal with it. And again, this also could be, the presence of another female or a friend or a teacher or somebody that is a confidant to you that's helping you deal with these issues in love and family or emotion. But either way, if it is representing a person, it is somebody who's a caring person and that it understands your emotions. And it could also speak to a new love interest coming through here, or again, a love that is moving in the direction of a healthier, moving in a healthier way, so that you move past some kind of, possible deceit or manipulation or something that went on there. Because this card normally could come through as a warning, but again, I feel this is something from the past where something was kept hidden from you. Something that you didn't know about, personally or professionally, personal issue, whatever. I actually feel it more specifically had to deal with tarnishing your reputation. I think it had something to do with, maybe some jealousy, or, that you were being spoken of in an unfavorable way. Gossip, basically, is what I'm getting at here. And again, it just was disrespectful, but again, it's not for you to counter every word that somebody puts out there. You have to stay true to your own values and belief systems and know that that is what has to matter in the grand scheme of things. Because if people are easily pushed and pulled by a couple of words or a period of time where, you didn't look so favorable, then that's not your tribe. Those aren't the people that you want around you. You need people that, maybe they did consider the gossip for a little bit, but overall, it fell to the wayside and didn't have a lot of resonance, didn't have a lot of meaning, didn't have a deeper layer of meaning. They didn't form it as a character around you. And again, you want to know who your true friends are, and make sure that you build alliances that help you to move forward, and they don't just come out later in the time when you really need them to be true and reliable. But because they were so caught up in the gossip before, they've already formed a characterization around you that it holds you back at a really important time in your life. So again, create some boundaries around people like that aren't your tribe, or that, need some time to figure out how they really see you and how they see themselves and what really has deeper meaning for them, over the long term, whether it's your friendship or someone else's gossip and their friendship. So again, this is, you don't want to let it be a blockage. If you get too caught up in believing everything that other people are saying about you as well, that's a blockage, and it doesn't allow you to move forward. But if you stay true to your own sense, your own conviction, your own sense of belief and value in what is important to you in the world, you're unshakable. It doesn't matter what other people think and what they say, because you're still going to get out there, and there's still going to be people that do believe in you. You just haven't found them just at that moment yet to be able to find some collaborative energy. Okay, so the next cards are actually the Earth Magic Oracle cards. Stephen D. Farmer is the cards is the one who's created this deck. So with the Earth Magic card, this is really about you having the same power that's available to, as they say, fairies. Fairies are considered to be, those that look after the magic of nature. So it's really about, it's about those. It could come in terms of people. It can come in terms of you also, looking after nature and healing through nature. But this is really taking responsibility for your garden, so to speak, metaphoric and in reality, actual nature, being respectful to nature, because nature really is the thing that gives us that power to allow us to live with and reconnect with spirit, and allows us to live in a way that we can demonstrate where we are in the grand scheme of things. You know, a lot of times when we're under pressure or stress, we go to nature. Nature is healing. It is that small space or that expansive space, whatever it is that you need. You know, when you need a small space and you're working on little flowers and trying to make something grow, or if you need an expansive field, whatever it is, it helps you to plant something and move forward with it. So again, that's where your strength is, and it's a power of manifestation in nature. So it is a healing energy as well. So vulnerability is the meadow, and this is a card of being built on the foundation and trust, and knowing that, just trust that the fear that you feel is not true fear. It's really just about unknown territory. And so any potential threats that you might be faced with, know that it is your responsibility to take the risk, but trust your instinct, because you're now in that place. You know, you can stand in your truth and know who you are, and not feel that the fear is going to hold you back, because you are coming from a place where you no longer need that kind of conditioned fear. You know, it's safe to let others know who you are. What I mean by that is, again, sometimes I find Cancerians can hold themselves back and not be outwardly showy about their emotions. They're very busy trying to contain themselves and stay in a place of strength, where, and they do that because, and people in general, you know, other signs can do this as well at various times, but some signs just might be a little more prone to that than others. But when you're logical and controlled, it makes it more difficult for other people to judge you and evaluate you and criticize you and put you down. But it also limits you, because then you aren't true to yourself. You're not free to be yourself. And so it's okay to be a little vulnerable and showing some of those parts of ourself that do make us vulnerable, because when you know that you're coming from a place of strength, meaning you know your strengths, you are more confident because you're being authentic. So when you hide behind the part of yourself that is unemotional, you're not really being authentic. It's okay to voice, I have a concern, I'm not in agreement with this, whatever the situation might be for you. Because, you know, if you're being true to yourself, you're being authentic, you're going to come off as somebody that may be disagreeable about the situation, but you're definitely somebody who has strong convictions, and the other person may actually try to reach out and understand you, or meet you halfway, instead of just feeling uncertain around you. Because again, truth and authenticity comes from knowing your values and knowing your belief systems, and going from that foundation, that framework. Okay, so on to Rainbow. Rainbow, as I said, you got a lot of cards that indicate that there are some blessings coming through for you. So this is about collaboration, sunlight, water, all of those things that make up a rainbow, you know, the water droplets, tiny prisms, collectively diffusing light, that give this rainbow its colors, this ribbon of colors. So it's important to, and it symbolizes, you know, that again, collaborative effort in life, from all the things that it takes to create that good luck, or that bridge, you know, that abundance. It does take collaboration. It does take opening up a part of yourself to be able to get a little help to move it to the next level. And that's what this is really saying, is there is a blessing coming through. You are getting some help that's coming through. You've got some insights here that are also coming through, because you are being a little more vulnerable in voicing your opinion about what you want. So again, it is about the storm having passed, and it's a time for you to enjoy this new cycle where you've got, you know, more purpose, and you can look at the brighter side of things, and that can even speak to, you know, knowledge coming through, some kind of new learning that's coming through. But again, it's a slower process. It's a slower evolving process here for you. But it is an opportunity nonetheless. It's where you're building on your own personal garden, metaphorically. So again, letting go of painful experiences. So that is those cards. I'm going to go into this is the numerology guidance cards by Michelle Buchanan, and the cards were self-love and love partnership. So again, repeated message all over this reading, that you need to do some inner work for sure, and that it is related to a love relationship. So again, with a love partnership, it again speaks to that romantic partnership here, whether it's somebody that was a current relationship, or or you're about to enter into this onto a deeper level of understanding and commitment, something along that line. But either way, there's been some kind of healing around it. I do feel that you are encouraged to focus on, what you have to offer rather than what you'd like to receive. I feel that you are attracting a mutually loving relationship that is going to be beneficial for both of you on some level here. So just to believe that it's okay to trust again here. Again, I feel that will help you to deepen your relationship to it's somehow tied in with your money here too. So whether it's moving in with them or something like that, but either way, it's some kind of reciprocation that's involving gifts or money as well. Okay, so with self-love, again, that's just focusing your attention on believing in yourself here. You're being encouraged to see yourself as a priority, so don't dwell on the things that you consider to be shortcomings, because again, these can be really harnessed as superpowers in the right situations. So it's not a negative or something that is holding you back. If it's something you dwell on, it's a blockage. But again, when you can pull it out at the right moment to use it, that is complete gain. So, it's okay to accept and embrace who you are. These aren't shortcomings. Showing emotion is not a shortcoming. Showing it at the right time is ideal. And sometimes we can't just pull it out of the woodwork until we've practiced it a few times with somebody and we feel safe to do so. So again, it's important to know that you have to practice the self-love and practice sharing love so that you can feel comfortable communicating it as well. So it is a time to start treating yourself as a friend, replace any negative self-talk or, any self-deprecating comments of you not being worthy, those kinds of things, and reaffirm yourself as, lovable. And you need to raise your energy to be able to attract positive things to you, which I feel you're doing anyway. So again, it's just everybody's there's some lag time between the different groups here of Cancerians. So encouragement for those that are not quite at that stage, and for those that are at that stage, just continue down that same road, because you are raising your vibration by doing that. And, anything that's going to allow you to create some humor and start to admire yourself for the things that you actually have as a strength. Because again, in the right circumstances, it's a strength. Nothing is insignificant or minor. And, we're all work in progress. It's ongoing. We didn't come here perfect to lead a perfect life. We came here as imperfect to find situations that will help us to feel more perfect. And in doing that life reflection, you're nurturing yourself, and you're able to use it as a superpower. You're able to harness it as a gift in the universe, as a gift in your world, in your material world. So next cards would be Colette Baron Reed cards. And again, these are the oracle cards. So you've got storm fields, which I feel you're moving past. You've got one ring circuits, and you've got sad embrace. So again, I feel that these are issues. There were some issues that you were dealing with in the past that, again, with the storm field card, that are no longer as relevant. I feel that you're moving past this, and that's what the card is. This too shall pass. So any uncomfortable chaos in your world, things that were surrounding you, any conflicts, you're releasing this, and you're actually going forward now with a new perspective, a better sense of where you're at. Those opposing forces and that electricity was only temporary. It shook things up so that the storm wasn't destructive, but it actually prepared you for new ground, because you needed to shift your perspective to be able to get past whatever this was. So that's where the growth is. So whatever's being stirred up inside you, between you and another, benefits you later. And that sun shines again, that optimism will be there, that new growth will be there for you to use in your next stage, which is where you level up. And this is a one-ring circus, and that represents that you're capable and you're competent. And so clearly, once you've learned this, once you're fully in command of this healing quality, or this, this understanding and this shift in perspective, and this realizing that it's okay to see yourself as not imperfect, but having all the perfect qualities. And again, it's just a matter of timing where you bring them out, when you bring them out, and how you harness them. So this is about independence, this card, and it's about you stepping forward. You've got a vision of the resources and the things that you need. You're recognizing that you've got some wisdom now, and you're competent, you're capable of moving ahead here, and you're self-reliant. So it's about clearing away any boundaries that you had between you and another, or, between yourself, any partnerships that you had. But for sure, still be discerning. You're not coming forward and revealing all truths about yourself. You're being discriminating about what it is that you reveal at specific times. But now you know who you are, and you have a healthy sense of where you want things to go, where you want things to begin. And it is about you attracting, attracting relationships, attracting people to you, attracting new friendships. You're mirroring back all of these things where you are in interdependent relationships, but they're mutually supportive relationships. And they're stimulating. These are relationships that help. It's your tribe. They're transforming you, and it does speak to you achieving things at this time. You're moving forward to be able to achieve that. So the sad embrace, again, I feel is a part of the past. It's you felt some sense of loss, because we always feel a sense of loss when we have to shed an old skin and an old part of ourselves that we were familiar with and we were comfortable with, and you're letting go and you're allowing that time to heal right now, and again, this is that time where it's for your highest good. It is a time where, you can accept the loss, because how this relationship was built on a foundation that was weak. That foundation was meant to fall apart, fall away. You needed to reshape this. So that disappointment is for the old perception. You're at a time now where that sadness and grief is because that old foundation doesn't support who you are now. So there's no sense in dwelling on it much longer, because you've got a new inner landscape, and you've been restored on some level. So there is growth that is assured here with this card, whatever the loss was. Again, that's old, faulty foundation loss. So it's okay to experience these new feelings and see the beauty of what's before you. Okay, so moving into I'll read the advice cards at the very end. We're almost into the financial part of it here. I'm going to read the sacred geometry cards here, because these ones, they're really unique deck. It's one of the newer decks that I have as well, so I'm not overly familiar with them, but I will, reflect on some of the meanings for the cards as well, because it's a newer deck for me. But I definitely believe in the symbols, and I for sure believe in binaural beats, which resonates with some of the cards that have Hertz sound attached to it. But anyway, this card reflection is about reflecting upon life experience. So again, it is a card of, honoring all the things in your past and your experiences, because they've created the person that you are today. And that becomes more powerful and stronger, and someone who is more empowered when they've learned the lesson. And you always want to make sure that you're listening for the lesson. Any recurring thoughts or dreams are also part of that journey. And remember, life is a journey. It's not a destination. Those experiences and whatever we think were mistakes, in relationship or business, whatever those trials, tribulations, those kinds of things are all a reminder that, you needed those. They're part of that labyrinth. They're part of that path that helps to bring you closer to the core, that centering of your mind and spiritual transformation and growth. It does help to find a deeper part of yourself so that you can rely on your inner wisdom. It's a sense of clarity, a newfound sense of clarity here as well with this card. And again, it's also reflection, reminding you that you have loved ones that have crossed over here that are helping to guide you, and that you should be asking them for help, and that you should be looking for their signs. You should be listening to them. There's definitely some ancestral influence coming through with this card. This is also a card it's a number 11, which is considered to be a number of mystique. So again, you're honoring your path by following the labyrinth spirals. And this is about patterns that we form, we use to protect ourselves from being hurt. But by doing that and following in those patterns, we also allow fear to control us. And so it's important to remember that we are in control of those memories and the patterns that we create. So you need to choose to create your future by reflecting on those past hurts, but asking yourself again, how do I change this memory? How do I make it move into something greater than the memory of that pain and reflection? Okay, so the next card is meditation. Again, you've got a few cards here that also speak to taking some time to meditate. And again, meditation can manifest in different ways. The card does speak to using repeating the Om mantra as a way to, fill your body with that vibration to move to a higher level of consciousness or higher level of wisdom. And again, it still represents the mystique number of 11. The card, the Om symbol, was around the four edges of this card. And if you listen to a lot of yoga, meditation, again, you can look that up on YouTube, but I mean, the Om it's a held resonant sound that has a frequency of 432 hertz. So again, even on binaural beats, you can look that up as the 432 hertz, and that helps you to connect to it helps you to connect to source and feel more centered. And again, by doing that chanting, it helps you with the Om sound. It helps you to raise your vibration and harmonize with nature, and that's your mind, body, and spirit connecting on that level. So again, it is a card of helping you to clear your busy mind or any levels of frustration. Promotes that relaxation and calm. And for some, it's an altered state of consciousness, and it helps to increase your memory. Again, it helps to release stress, and it makes you a lot more productive and creative, and just improves your overall general sense of well-being and health when you're able to see the importance of this geometry. So again, it's the interlocking, there's 9 interlocking triangles on this geometry here, and it is a Hindu symbol of interlocking triangles, but the triangles are moving inward and outward. And so they get larger, they get more expansive, and it's supposed to represent, on the minor level, fractals that are about continual expansion in our universe. That ever-expanding cosmos is how the card is represented. So the last part of the reading is actually the financial aspects to the reading. And I'll actually, before I get to the financial aspects and the guidance cards, I just want to quickly make a mention that the counselor card is what came through from your ancestral oracle of the Celts, and that's by Caitlin Matthews. So the counselor is, again, as I spoke to it earlier, it's really about you. You're going to be able to give some really good advice. You are going to be somebody who is going to be sought as a sense of a counselor. You will be received in this light, maybe not today or tomorrow, but because of your depths of pain that you've put yourself through, you're going to be able to retell the stories. This is a generational card. This is something that you have. It's wisdom. It's a sense of inner wisdom that you have gained from these painful experiences. But it's also a part of your ancestry, and so you also are being told, or advised rather, from your ancestors to relinquish anything that you once loved. It's not terrible to have it removed or taken away, because the wisdom, again, that you gain from that experience is helping you to help others. And it's more about you honoring those disappointments or those injustices, because you harm yourself when you sit in a place of either commiserating with other people just because they seem like they're all on board and everybody supports that pain. You're being advised to build your self-esteem, is what's happening with this card, and find your humor. This is part of your ancestors' advice. Build your self-esteem, find your humor, because that's going to bring you comfort and delight in some of the smaller things in life. And you're honoring your ancestors by doing that. So that was, again, part of the advice cards. Maybe I will read the advice cards and then we'll just get to the financial part of it here at the end. So again, you've got the Lover's card. Make choices from your heart, deeply emotional commitments, the power of love. So, for sure, again, it's coming through with the Lover's card in more than one area of the reading here. Following your heart, any deep set emotions that you were experiencing, it is that sense of life is changing now because of this relationship. And so it's important that you devote, I guess is maybe the word I'm looking for, devote your attention to the power of love and be deliberate and allow yourself to recover. Because the Archangel Raphael is the card who is the angel of this card who watches over you. So again, it is about protecting yourself. I'm trying to look for the best way to express this, I guess. It's about protecting yourself, by, again, not showing all of your feelings and right up front, but you are definitely opening up and communicating more of your vulnerabilities here with this card. But it's also a card of healing as well on the health front. So if there is some kind of an issue with your health, again, that's just sort of secondary to it. But I feel that this is really more relevant for that part of yourself where you've got some boundaries around maybe your love situation, but I feel that, again, the communication opens up when you're able to show a little more vulnerability. That will help you, and you practice it. And what I mean by practicing it is, you're going to feel really uncomfortable if you just bring out communication once every 3 to 6 months. You have to kind of work at some of the issues incrementally. Okay, so anyway, the next card is the Ten of Raphael, and that one is love and blessings. Fill your life, harmonious relationships with family members, happily ever after. So again, for sure, you're working hard at trying to find that peace and connection with people, your family and your friends and your relationships. Your hopes and dreams are definitely starting to manifest here because you're focused on it again, and you're focused on being on the right path here. So it's about being okay with your partnerships. You can find some happiness in them now, and you're getting trustworthy relationships because I feel you're opening up a little bit more here. You're not putting on the facade of, strong at all times. And so there's an end of that stress and that happily ever after that's coming through. And again, I think you're manifesting this yourself because you've done some inner work work and some healing with the Magician card. The Magician is somebody who has that magical touch. Things are on your side. You can manifest the things in your life that you want. What you need will appear, and there's a successful beginning here. So again, it's having the resources, the knowledge that, over your experience that you've accumulated. You're able to see the road ahead, a couple of steps ahead, so that you can prepare and move ahead, safe and assuredly. It's guidance of supportive people. Again, it can be, maybe a little bit of a gift or something that's coming through here as well, which I still feel is coming through with things moving your way. And I do feel a gift as well. But there's something that's coming forward here to help you move forward with your plans. So again, there's definite success with this card. It's creative solutions, it's skill building, it's confidence. You already have a lot of skills here, and you have focused intention and action, and you're taking that initiative and using it. So the last card, of course, is solutions. And of course, you've already been able to manifest those solutions. So success that comes from objective compromise, self-control and patience, forgiving and healing energy. So again, this is a card of working to find the balance. And it's about, if you were feeling stressed out, and again, I feel like you're getting past all of that, you're being patient and exercising some self-control. You're going slow in this period from July 24th to the end of August 2020, and it will result in a successful outcome for the things that you're considering right now. So it's, you're considering the ideas of others, and you're trying to see their viewpoint. You've got a change of perspective. There's some diversity in your thoughts, and you're taking, a reconciliatory or there is a reconciliation that's going on here because of this, as the actions that you're putting forward, and some kind of forgiveness and a fair-minded attitude. Again, balance, healing energy, compromise, solutions. So it is a card of forgiveness, basically. Okay, so now moving on to the very last part of it. That was the advice cards. The very last part of the reading is relating to the financial aspects. So again, the very beginning of this, you have cards that relate around the deception card. So we've got clarifiers. So there is the Ace of Swords. The aces are always about new beginnings and fresh starts. And then there's, of course, with the Seven of Swords. And then there is the Sun, which is an optimistic card as well. So what I'm seeing here is... with the Ace of Swords, aces, as I mentioned, are really, it's a fairly good card in terms of, but because this aspect relates to money, this aspect of the reading, it is about potential with the Ace of Swords. So in terms of money, again, it can be an opportunity or some that is coming through here for you to expand your business or improve your finances. Again, it speaks to gifts either from a friend or a relative, either you're giving or somebody else is giving. It does acknowledge, that you're able to use your skills and your abilities, and in some way for the month of July 22nd through, or 24th, to the end of August, and that you're getting a project rolling because you're getting some help. So it does also speak to a new career direction. Could be, again, good fortune that's coming through with a friend or admirer, some kind of support, collaboration all over the place with this part of the reading as well. Even though you feel some kind of tension related to money matters, or maybe there's some kind of a delay or something like that, and that could also be why there's the Seven of Swords. But Seven of Swords can also be about fear about taking a risk on something. So again, maybe you're still waiting on that collaboration process coming through, and that's why there is some kind of delay. But you've got the Sun card, and the Sun card speaks to optimistic times ahead. It's good news. It's positive. So it's nothing that you need to worry about. So again, with the Sun card as well, it's a card of happiness. It's a positive omen. It's a time of creativity. I'm just going to pull it up here again. The card is, in terms of advice, it's, you're at the center of the universe here. This is a card to put yourself at the center of your decisions, basically, is what it says. Your answers are clear and you just need to move forward on it. So in terms of finance, again, it's, things will improve in terms of your income. There's good surprises and opportunities coming through. Sometimes it can relate to public recognition, although I'm not seeing a lot of cards really supporting that necessarily close together here. But I would still say that it is speaking to some flow of money and some high energy, boost of good luck of some sort. There's inner child healing here. It's good on the front of business. And again, I felt that there's the universe is supporting you here. And you're getting some clearly defined answers and solutions to problems, especially with the Ace of Swords there as well. So again, it's the Ace of Swords, is about you taking action and that ability to concentrate, and you're cutting through all of that illusions or confusion, or, you're eager to learn and get started on things again. You see the path ahead, and you're really able to move on your ideas, and you've got a vision here. So it's about opportunities coming your way and breakthroughs, and there's mental clarity, as I mentioned. It's also about some honesty and justice that's coming through here as well, but it's a healing quality. It's a crown chakra healing as well, and there is a victory that comes through with this card. In terms of your feelings, I feel that you're making, or in terms of your feelings, I feel that you're or rather, not so much your feelings, but in terms of your natural qualities, I feel that you're making the right decisions, and you're sharp. So again, that can represent a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy as well in the reading, but overall, you're moving on something. Okay, so the next cards are, this was clarifier for the Ten of Pentacles. So I do feel with the Ten of Pentacles, you're moving ahead with, you're still continuing on the project because you're still at an 8, but again, it's already formed with the 8 of Pentacles. This is about you just trying to, work on the practical aspects, again, one foot in front of the other, still working on building the mundane aspects to that repetitive, it's got a repetitive nature to building that skill, widening your knowledge, training for a job, anything along that line. You're still working hard for it. I do feel that, it's positive change ahead, some very good things in store for you in terms of career. But it's a good start card. It's not a time for you to worry about money. You're focused on your goals here. You just need to continue to apply yourself and learn what needs to be done to stay the course. So still things are still getting done here. And you're still after the Ten of Pentacles. So it is something that is going to bring you, there is new learning with this card. You're getting the job done. You're enjoying your work. But it is a long-term career plan is what I'm getting here. So you are a very skilled person. You are somebody who is very masterful in what you do as well. You aren't afraid of learning at all. So, okay, so beyond that, I do feel that you are still battling yourself here with the Five of Wands. Again, I don't feel that this is a real, you might be battling others here as well, but I don't feel it's any real restriction because there's too many cards surrounding it that are, positive and abundant and moving forward. It isn't a clarifier. The abundance card or the Empress is not a clarifier, but it is very closely connected to the Five of Wands, meaning it's the next card following that. So I do feel, with fives, which is what we've got here, this is generally some arguments. So it could be an argument with a Libra personality that's, either had taken place or is taking place through this period of July 24th through to August. But it could even just really speak to power struggles, some kind of competition or clash of personalities. But again, with the five, just because they're close together, but it's not a clarifier, but with the five, again, this is still about inner conflict. And, maybe you felt like you needed to stand up for yourself on some level, but it's a struggle. It's a hiccup. It's something that's still in the way here. But just something that you feel threatened by doesn't mean that it is something that you're taking a loss over. So again, you've got, well, I'll go through the Empress energy here as well, because you also have another Libra energy coming through with the Justice card, but that is connected to some other cards here, which I feel is still relating to a legal matter. But with the Empress, I mean, the Empress is a card of abundance, but it is also a card of, as I mentioned, a Libra energy. But it is a flow of things. So this could be somebody who represents sort of a mysterious energy. In terms of career, what you're choosing to do could also be involving developing yourself. So maybe it's developing yourself on on some level as well. But this is really about, it's a card of, I want to say, abundance, but I feel like it's more of a person coming through, even though the card itself, as I say, can be, relating to, but it also feels like it's a development of self. I feel like it is a development of self for you here. You're developing a talent as well. You're being instinctive, though. I think you are using your intuition, and it's a creative thing that you're doing. That's where you're getting a lot of your solutions that will bring these rewards. So there, again, it's still a positive power path that you're on here. And I do feel with the Justice card that we are talking about a legal matter of some sort. So again, it could be Libra energy, and I still feel that's still coming through here. But sorry, one sec here. But again, I do still feel that this Justice card is a legal energy coming through that is still moving in your favor. I think that either you are working with somebody in collaboration to resolve it, or you're able to get compliance about a legal matter, even though you still have a lot of anxiety over it, and maybe it's an ongoing thing here. It's not resolving itself in the month of July to August, but I do feel it is an issue that is still moving in your favor anyway. It's showing that it's moving in your favor for this period. Something has moved in your favor in that direction. So whatever that legal matter is, maybe something was moved in a direction where you were able to stave off a bill or whatever. Okay, so these two are the clarifiers for the Lovers card. And again, this I feel is kind of a person. Sometimes I feel some of these energies can be combined into one person. Doesn't mean that there's 12 people in the reading that are coming through. But I feel with this particular combination here that you've with the Lovers energy, I feel that there is some kind of reciprocity going on here. I feel that things maybe have been taken to another level. Could be a partnership in terms of business too, but again, I feel that there's a lot of emotion that's involved here. Whatever the issue was, could even be an emotional issue revolving around the legal matter there. But there is still a solution that's coming out of it. There is some kind of balance that's coming through with the Six of Pentacles, a give and take. For sure, there is, with the Lover's card on its own, it is about big changes coming, following your intuition, strong passion, and, sexual attraction, all of those things, shared values, decision making, and commitment. So, but again, with the way it's coupled here, I just feel that that there is some kind of, it's a very heated emotional situation, and then with the Six of Pentacles, there's some kind of give and take that's having to be had there, some kind of shared reciprocity. So we also have the Hanged Man clarified by the Page of Pentacles. So again, with the Hanged Man, I mean, this is kind of a changing perspective card, and I do feel that the Hanged Man is coming up as some kind of, probably toward the end of, we're looking at August, maybe you're feeling like something is kind of halted, and maybe that toward the end of August as well with that justice issue. But I feel that, or with the legal matter, but again, there's some kind of resolve around it, middle to end of August. But again, with the Hanged Man card, I do feel that I'm just also getting something that's coming through just before I flip onto that one there. Just in terms of the Lover's card, I also feel that maybe something that you were putting out there didn't really come to fruition. I think that I think there's some unexpected money and so on, like I said, that's still coming through, or a bill or something, or a loan repayment or whatever it is, but the money, you'll have the money to cover it. But I feel, and it is some kind of blessing that's coming through with that card as well. But I just feel that your gains are coming through in a different direction than what you had expected as well. So something is kind of giving you a feeling of a savings grace, or that there's something around a social invitation as well that may be bringing about that connection that helps you with business. But again, it does bring about some stability here, because there's no real issues with money, even though you're still worrying about it. But there's some savings or something that's going to come through in a social situation that is going to help offset something else that is helping you. So something that you might have thought was going to be a loss is actually going to turn out to be a positive for you. So it's actually going to work in your favor, is what I'm getting at here. Okay, so again, back to the Hangman. Again, this is about, changing your perspective. In terms of finances, it can be about financial problems that arise over someone who sticks you with a bill or something like that, but you'll still have enough to get by. It's not going to be an issue. It's still about you having to change your thinking about something as well. And again, there's still some idea of a gift coming through, and some kind of new business proposal or something in regards to an opportunity or something related to money that's coming into your situation that is going to help you feel like you're pulling yourself out of some kind of a rut. And again, with the Page of Cups here, I mean, this could identify as a person, coming through. So as a person, pages are usually a younger energy, but doesn't have to be. Could be just somebody who thinks that way, who's quite a youthful type person, or Piscean energy as well. But in terms of a person, it would be somebody who is, maybe you're waiting on something that's coming through that's related to this person, who normally is really intuitive, vulnerable, emotional, sensitive kind of person, might be quite psychic and intuitive in their own way as well. But just romantic type of qualities. And again, there's going to be a spectrum of this kind of person. Doesn't necessarily mean that every Piscean is, completely self-indulgent and lives for love and all of those things. They could be quite balanced, but they just might have more of a propensity toward those qualities. So in terms of work, it would be, feeling a little boxed in with this combination. So, something needs to be done before you can unbox yourself, is what I'm going to say here. I do feel that you're going to get what you need to be able to feel unblocked, and to be able to expand. You're going to find that solution to the problem. And again, I feel like you're attracting people to you that will help on this level, that are a little more like-minded, that will be in support of what you're doing. Again, I do feel this is a time for solutions where you're getting an answer to that problem. So again, it's luck coming in for you, because you're finding the right answers for the right decisions, and making the right decisions rather. Okay, so following that, I feel this is the energies of two people in this mix here. So I feel one of them is quite an authoritative kind of person here, and the other is more of a nurturing, but they're both, quite regal and strong. With the Queen of Pentacles, this is somebody who is really concerned about the people in her life, and somebody who's very nurturing and concerned about security and studies, and has a practicality, about them. They try to be there for everybody, and faithful and home loving, and they're just realistic in the way that they try to support and establish those supports, and they're even, represented as maybe holistic in nature, like healing belief systems. Maybe they are somebody who's into reflexology or into, something in the holistic field. But either way, it's somebody who's quite ambitious, has their own set of goals, quite strong-willed, and certainly somebody who's prepared to work for that success. And again, they've kind of met their match here too with the King of Swords as sort of a counterpart here. With the King of Swords, this is also somebody who's very kind of headstrong, again at the far extremes, but very authoritative, realistic, practical, for the most part, and could be very opinionated, but very strategic person, and leadership qualities coming through here. Somebody who might even make quick decisions, that kind of thing. Deep thinker, professional, could be professional in nature, but again, still the energy of Gemini, Libra, Aquarius coming through here. But a logically minded, strong person, doesn't have to be 100% all of the time, but just a predominant quality of, could represent a lawyer, anybody who's in a position of authority. So, but again, it can be somebody who's quite masterful and skillful themselves. You do have also, toward again, this would be the middle end of August, probably closer, more so to the end of August, but there's still some new learning going on here with the Page of Pentacles. So again, it's about fresh starts, new beginnings, all of that comes through with the Page, something that's a new course of study. So I feel like you are still working on something, but you're still in that beginning stage. You're still, putting one foot in front of the other to get it completed, but you have an idea of what it is. It's just you're still really at that beginning stage of setting those wheels in motion. So in terms of money and those kinds of things, as I say, you're still laying the foundation before that big break, or before things, take off, whatever that hobby is, or whatever that news might be in terms of money. But it is speaking to, things being made through your own efforts, where you're able to manifest your dreams into a reality, and you can become somebody who's a master teacher here with this card. And I do feel that, that potential is there, but again, it's a pretty slow victory with the Knight of Pentacles here. The victory is coming, but again, it's a little slow to get there, just because you are still at the beginning stage. You're at an 8, though, so you've already planted the seeds. You already have an idea of where you're headed with this, but you need to continue doing the mundane tasks, and which is what the Knight of Pentacles is really well known for. Somebody who's efficient and conservative and stable, and they're okay putting their energy out in performing the task. They're not super adventurous here. This is somebody who's really quite practical and determined, and very hardworking, dedicated kind of nature. So, so again, just continuing one foot in front of the other, because you've got the Chariot coming through, and the Chariot is definitely a card of manifestation here. It's a card of victory. It is, and you've got the Chariot in more than one area of this reading. So, really you just need to stay the course and continue on, because for the month of July to August here, or toward the end of July to August, you are working on healing predominantly, but you definitely need to start putting down your details of the goals and getting things moving. Not a time of forging ahead with action, but it's more about socializing and making those connections with people to make it happen. So again, Chariot energy, still a victory ahead, just not there yet. Can be even a hard-won victory, but there's some settling of debts and things that are also coming through with that energy, and it's a Cancer energy with the Chariot, so you're coming through in your own reading also. So you're standing in your own personal power here. These were the clarifiers for the Ace of Wands about a creative project starting here. And again, standing in your own power, taking a leap of faith. And with the Magician energy, you're moving ahead. You've got all the resources to make it happen. You've also got the Four of Wands, as I mentioned here. And this is a card of stability and balance and about home life and family life and those kinds of things, feeling well supported and that you've got some kind of financial balance coming through here. You know, it's about a new stage of life as well, you know, and it's about kind of recapturing those feelings of newness, something starting off again and feeling inspired and grounded again, stable. And that's really important here, enable for you to go ahead, is to use the blessings that are coming in for you so that you can complete something that is moving into a new phase for you and some kind of rite of passage, but it will create a lot of abundance and stability for you if you can maintain that that healing and that growth and use it to your advantage. So again, with the Ace of Wands is a more powerful energy of ambition and, you know, creativity, a lot of passion behind what you're doing, and you're feeling enthusiastic and you're taking some inspired action because of this new growth. You know, you've got some action and potential to start moving on this direction again. I feel that, again, you were on that direction. You just took a period of healing to balance out again. But you've got your belief back in your abilities and you're able to get on that new project again and create. Again, with the Strength card, you know, there's going to be some obstacles up ahead here and you're really going to need to stand in your, you're not having to battle anybody necessarily, but any obstacles that come before you, you just need to know that you have the strength to face them here. You just need to be aware that that strength came from your inner strength, from, I don't want to say the damage that was caused, but you developed inner strength from that that painful place now. And so you're actually okay in taking that leap of faith and making things happen. Really strong connection of cards here too. Really, really strong. So you are definitely on a path of forward moving success. You just need to believe in yourself. And again, do the work. Don't try to miss a step. You need to really just know that you've got to, with the Knight of Pentacles, you need to have some endurance on this project. It's not going to be a quick success. You need to be able to take control of your life with the, you know, with the Strength card. You know, you need to make sure that you stay in control of yourself and your emotions. Don't let your emotions run you. You don't want to burn yourself out. And again, with the Magician, you know, it's about you doing something really well. You're going to do this creative undertaking really well. You're going to be quite a master at it. But again, use this new strength, practice it. Don't be afraid to be a little vulnerable. Do it incrementally so that it becomes regular communication and you're not afraid of showing that vulnerability. And it doesn't matter if it's fully well received from people, because that's not the point. The point is that you just have to feel comfortable in expressing it, and then find a way to be empowered by it. So even when people judge you, it's really irrelevant, because you're building your life for the better and you're honoring, you know, your own personal beliefs, values, power, and taking the action and feeling courageous because you're applying it at the right time. You know, meaning you're using that inner wisdom, that, as I said, that what you've learned from that relationship, whatever that pain was, has helped to empower you in some way, and you're going to be able to use it in a professional sphere as well. So it's become a strength that you're going to have to resource at some point. But again, it's only useful if you can practice it. If you don't practice on opening up a little bit of the vulnerability, you're going to have a difficult time showing it as a strength. People will know that it isn't yet a strength. So anyway, I hope that has given you a little bit of insight, Cancer, for the month of July 24th through to the end of August. There was a couple of other cards called Wealth Wisdom cards, just a little tidbit at the end here. But anyway, this is a deck that is from, sorry, that one I have to look up here. That one is actually Jaden Sterling, and it's just like an oracle deck, basically. So for whoever this applies to, it is a card indicating that anybody who needs to refinance during this time, now is the time to get a better rate on your secured or unsecured debt, such as mortgages, car loans, student loans, business lines of credit, business loan, small business loans, credit cards. Gather your personal and corporate tax returns, bank statements, update things, financial statements. Anyway, basically, again, just because of the times right now, if you can work with somebody in reducing down some of your interest rates, it may be to your advantage. And for those, again, on a general level, intuition is still guiding you here in terms of your money. And so it's okay to trust that. And it really is a card letting you know that when you go inward, you reflect on whatever it is that you need to ask from the universe. You do have to specifically ask from the universe for the help. And again, the more specific you are, the more direct of an answer you can get, or the more the way will become clear. If you just say, I need help with money, versus I need a solution to, finding $500 more in the month, that's being more specific versus a general question of, I need more money. There's $1. So again, be specific in what you ask from the universe. So again, Cancer, until next month, I guess it'll be in September, as this was a bit of a July end to August end reading. Stay safe, and hope you are able to put this into some practical usage, and it gives you a little bit of insight. Until September.